Can you see my screen? So we had an idea of what is OLTP and what is OLAP. OLTP. OLTP systems are nothing but online transaction processing. Yeah. OLAP systems are nothing but online analysis processing. Okay. Yes. Hmm. What is meant by this? OLTP systems, but nothing but these are just naming conventions. Don't think these are systems would be separate and the design will be separate. OLTP systems are nothing but a naming convention, isn't it? Simple example, like if Chandrababu is CM, then you will call him as a chief minister. In the same way, if the system where the real-time data is happening, every time, every day, every minute, the data transaction is happening, those systems are called as OLTP. And OLAP systems are nothing but the systems which are used to analyze the OLTP system data. Okay, so these are the difference between OLTP systems and OLAP system. Just discuss about a simple example, like if you go to the SBI branch, the people cashier will keep on entering the data, seeing the your receipt, you will keep on entering the data. Those systems are nothing but OLTP systems, nothing but the client, the functional people as keep on entering the data. And OLAP systems are nothing but after the completion of business hours to analyze the OLTP data, because OLTP data cannot be analyzed in a great manner. Okay, OLTP system data can be analyzed, but to some extent only. If the client want to do deep analysis in the sense, OLTP data will be, suppose if it is an all over the India data, the client cannot analysis it the OLTP data, because the all over the world data is in that database. So if OLAP analysis will make the very deep analysis. What the client given requirement, he want to see Hyderabad, in Hyderabad Amirpet, in Amirpet, and this area branch, he want to see the how many transactions, debits, credits were happened. This is the requirement of client. Obviously, then we need to go for OLAP. OLAP is nothing but analysis of the data made by the OLTP systems. Okay, let's have a simple diagram archetype. These are systems, application layer, applications, and the database. Okay, database. In system, when you log into your internet and you will open application will be open in your system, and you will give some input, something like if it is a book my show application, when you open book my show browser in Google, you will get book my show browser. After that, what you will do, you enter your name, all the details, and you will buy a ticket, and nothing but giving the input to the application, isn't it, entering the data. So then after, you will get back to the application. Then after, what will happen, the data which you have entered, the movie ticket, movie name, and the date, and the selection of seat, all this will be saved at database, isn't it? So now I am saying, applications may be any type of applications, database may be any database. How many types of database we do have? We have lots of databases in the market, something like Oracle, Oracle, IBM database, nothing but SQL database. Oracle's database is nothing but SQL database. IBM database is called MySQL database. Oracle database, DBMS database. We have learned this in our colleges, BTech. DBMS database, RDBMS, Like that, there are nearly 250 plus databases in the world, but the main stands this database. According to newly, what is the new generation of database, that is SAP HANA has created its own database, and HANA also comes into the database. Okay, it is a client wish. Okay, client wish may use any database. He may use Oracle, MS SQL, or RDBMS, anything. Let's take an example that my show is an application. Book My Show is an application. To the Book My Show, Book My Show is an application. Book My Show is an application. Here is an to run the Book My Show, you need a application server, application server. And when you enter the data, obviously it will save in the database, and the database they are using is something. We will take an example of SQL database. They are not using HANA. There is a separately. Okay. Now one day the Book My Show CEO he has been came to that now we want to do analysis. Up to now, till when he started Book My Show, till now he has didn't done any analysis. But to increase this market, to reduce his competitor, there are so many competitors for Book My Show, something like Just Tickets, all other things. To over them, definitely he should have to take a good decisions. What offers we should have to give, what discounts we should have to give, what are the theaters we should have to book. These decisions should have to be taken by Book My Show. So from the earlier data, all the he has been saved in SQL. Now the what you want the Book My Show you want to see, you want to analyze the data. And how many sales and how many customers were booked. All these details you want to see. So obviously you want to do analysis. Analysis is nothing but OLAP. So there are in SAP or in a ERP world, there are so many modeling things. There are so many modeling applications are there. But yesterday from in first class I have explained SAP stands for in the table for anything, isn't it? So obviously client will go with SAP one. SAP one because SAP stands first in the ERP world. So what we will choose? He will choose for SAP. In SAP, the modeling tools are is there. What is a modeling tool here we have is HANA. So the modeling tool here we have is HANA. So what you want the client you want to see the you want to do the analysis. So what our SAP people ask, please give your architecture. They will say this is my system and this is my application server and this is my database. So we want the client what you want to see. You want to the client has said that you want to see 2015 to 2016 data. So as we are doing analysis, what we will do, we will bring the data from this database to we will bring data from this database to from SQL database to HANA database. Why you are bringing here HANA database? To do the analysis. Okay, we are bringing this database to this database. So you will ask the question, why won't you do we do the analysis at SQL? Because we in any client, any in real time, any most of the clients in the world, they never encourage to do the modeling. Modeling is nothing but the trimming of the data, isn't it? Yesterday I said what is meant by modeling. Modeling is nothing but among the old data, earlier data, we are trimming the data which is required by the client requirement. Among the whole data, we are taking only some data which is required to the client. That is called nothing but the modeling. So so we never do it at real-time systems. Real-time systems are nothing but OLTP systems. Why we don't do it OLTP system is when we are doing something modeling, if the table will be deleted, unfortunately in some other conditions or another conditions, if the table is deleted, as it is a real-time system, the entire data will be deleted, isn't it? So there is no chance of recovering of the data. So clients never encourage to do the modeling on real-time systems. In that case, what those people will say is, please make the modeling in OLAP systems. OLAP systems is nothing but after the completion of your OLTP process, nothing but 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. After the completion of your business, what we people do is, we will bring the data from SQL database to HANA database. It means what that after the 6 p.m. the the transaction will be closed. Okay, after 6 p.m. transaction will be closed. Then after we wake up and we will bring the data which is has been stored in this and will bring to data. So when we are bringing the data from this database to this database, the business should not be do any transactions at OLTP. Okay, what will happen when we are transferring this data to this data? Because for suppose we take yesterday's date, yesterday 8 o'clock, yesterday 8th date na? On 8th 11th we should have to the after 8th 11th we should have to the bring data. After the completion of 8 we should have to the bring data from SQL database to HANA database. What is the business hour is? According to him, every company don't have the same business hour. Some companies they do have after midnight 12. If US client, their closing hour will be 10 a.m. According to the business client we should have to do the transactions. Because if I take an example of book my show is an 9 a.m. to 9, if it is on book my show is 9 to 6, 9 to 6, yesterday date is 8 na, yesterday date 8th date. On 8th date how much p.m. after the completion of 6 p.m. I will wait for 2 hours, 2 3 4 hours, because the transaction should be completed. Because when I am transferring, I started transferring the data from SQL to HANA database at 8 o'clock. If somebody entered the data at 9 o'clock, then I will miss that record, isn't it? Got the point? Devendra, have you got the point? Hmm. So, yeah, I should have to transfer the data. The business hour is 9 to 6. After I will wait for 3 hours. Let's take 8 hours. That is 8. After 8, I will make the data transfer from SQL to HANA database. If somebody who entered the data after the 8, I cannot. After the 8, I cannot bring data because I started the triggering the data from 9 to 6 only, and I waited for 8 o'clock, but the data which is newly happened is 9 o'clock. So the system cannot take that 9 o'clock data. So it is not a right way because the data is mismatched na? So we should have to check when we are transferring the data from this to OLTP system to OLAP system. We should be very care when we are transferring data. There should not be no transactions at that time. Okay, that's the reason we are when we are doing, suppose if we take an SBI, I said na SBI are also using SAP. So now you will get it out how SBI will do, because SBI will works on 24 basis time, isn't it? On 24 time it basis, obviously there will be OLTP transactions will happen at 24 time. Then how they will transfer the data? The transfer of SBI date will be happen every month. Okay, every month at certain time you will receive that the when you open your net banking, it will says the net banking is under temporarily out of service. Okay, have you seen any time that when you open SBI net banking or any other banks, when you at certain time they will maintain that is as a the service is out of service, it is under maintenance. At that time what we will do is we will transfer the data from SBI database to another database. Okay, in this they will transfer the data to do the analysis. Now you got the point. This is all the OLTP systems and this is a OLAP systems. OLAP system we are using to do the analysis of the OLTP system. Now in SQL database, how this SQL database getting the data means through application. Through application, who is doing the data is nothing but the functional people. Functional people are entering the data through the application. Through application the data is coming into the database. To analyze the data we are transferring the data from this database to another database. The database is nothing but called as OLAP database. Why we called it as OLAP is nothing but after the completion of business hours we are transferring data to this database. This is not a real-time database, isn't it? Every day after 8 o'clock business hours it will be there. Here will not be no real-time data will be present in this database. Why no real-time data is present in the base? After the completion of the data entering this only we will transfer same data into this database. So it is not a real time, isn't it? What is meant by real time? When you enter in the application, when you within a seconds the data will be stored in database, but it cannot be stored in this database because it is an OLAP. Why it will not be stored in? Because after the completion of transferring the data only you will be able to see the data in this database. When you are going to see data in this database after the completion of the business hours at 8 o'clock, I will transfer the data from SQL to HANA database. Then you will see the data in this HANA database. That is the point of OLAP systems. Okay. Now let's see what is, yeah, yes, what? I didn't understand. Yeah. Yeah, you can see, because what I'm saying is in this data there will be, when the bookman show has been established, and from till date the data will be in this SQL database. Okay, now if you ask us something question, you want to see the seventh data of this month. So obviously what I should have to do, I should have to give you a reporting, isn't it? So what I will do, I bring the data from this database to this database, and after that I will do modeling here. Entire data will be from, for suppose the bookma show is established in 2015 to 2016. What I will do is I bring till date transaction is there in this SQL database now. What I will do, I bring the entire data into the HANA. Okay, first I will bring entire data into the HANA, then after I will do modeling here. Modeling, what is your requirement? Your requirement is you want 7th 11 2016 data. So I will do the modeling. I will make a filter that only give the client only this data. Okay, now you should have to the get that doubt that, okay, you have transferred the, in SQL what is the data is there from which date to which date is from 2001 dash 01 dash 2015. It has been established in this, and the data in this is from this date it has been there. Okay, suppose, and the data in SQL, what is the database till date is there is 09 dash 11 today date 2016. It has been here. Now after, till now he didn't do any analysis, but to improve his business, he stated that he want to do analysis, so he brought SAP modeling license. Okay, modeling license. So what I will do is I will transfer all the data, entire data from this date to this date to HANA database. Okay, I have transferred all this data from this date to this date. So now what is the data in HANA database? Exact what is the date here is, it will be in HANA database. Next, another, what we will do on next day, how we will transfer next day. So up to ninth date I have transferred. Tomorrow what we will do, I will transfer only 10th day, isn't it? Up to 9 it is completed. Tomorrow what is 10th date, I will transfer only 10th date to, only 10th date result to this, because already up to this date to this date I will transfer to HANA database. And next day what I want, only the records of the 10th date record is I should have to transfer to this database, isn't it? I no need of all the data, because on the first step I have completed. Yeah. On daily wise I will transfer the daily wise reports. Got the point, Devendra? Yeah. So what is this means, that he had started the business, but at the beginning he don't had the analysis. After the 1 year or 2 years he had brought SAP license to do the modeling. So on the initial date I will bring all the data to HANA database, then after I run on the daily wise data into the HANA database, so that it will get all the data which is in SQL, obviously you will see in the HANA database, isn't it? Just a minute, Devendra, just a minute. Yeah, you got na? What is OLAP systems and OLTP system? What we'll do in OLAP systems? Yeah. You have any doubts with this session, with this type, with OLTP systems and OLAP systems? It's clear. It's clear. Okay. Now we'll discuss. Yeah. Yes. Everything. Everything we can see it in a database. Okay. Now I will explain you. Yes. Yeah. And we will have in later sessions how we are bringing the data from SQL to HANA database. It is not a Jantar Mantar or anything to automatically come SQL to HANA. There we should have to do some procedures so that the data in SQL should have to come to the HANA, isn't it? We will discuss later on how we will bring the SQL database or some any other application. The OLTP system may have any other database. We cannot say they can use our own database. SAP HANA only database they may use any other database. But the modeling may be done in SAP because our SAP is standing as a number one position, isn't it? Okay. In OLTP system, they may have any other application, any other. If we have two types, isn't it? I said the clients may be two types. One is clients are of two types. SAP customers, SAP customers, and non-SAP customers. How this architecture, if SAP customer, how his architecture will be there? You use application, you use systems, and what is the application he will use? He use SAP applications. SAP applications, he will use SAP apps. SAP applications are nothing but FI, SD, MM, SCM. FI is nothing but finance. SD is nothing but sales and distribution. MM is nothing but material management. SCM is nothing but supply chain management. These are all applications. These applications are used by the customer, isn't it? If as an SAP customers, they have architecture like system, SAP application, and the database. What these people use database is HANA database because these are SAP customers now, so use HANA database, isn't it? If they are non-SAP customers, they have system. Their applications maybe they use any other applications. We cannot guarantee. They may have Book My Show, lots of applications, isn't it? General applications. Okay, they may have lots of applications. You Book My Show or Just Tickets or WhatsApp, some other applications, any other applications. They may use any other application, and their database is their own. We don't make it because there are non-SAP customers that they may use Oracle SQL or Oracle or DBMS or MS SQL or anything. They may use any other thing. But end of the day, if SAP customers or non-SAP customers, if they do want to do analysis from HANA database to, we will bring the data to, we will bring the data to HANA because these are OLTP systems now. Obviously, if they are SAP customers, we will bring the database to HANA. If it is a non-SAP customers, we will bring the data from SQL or MSK any other database to this HANA, isn't it? These are real-time systems. These are OLTP systems, non-SAP OLTP systems and SAP OLTP systems. The modeling is common. HANA. We have get HANA. HANA. Okay, now you got the point? Yes, buddy. you don't have any doubts on this session, this type. Okay, and we will discuss what is hana, why hana is very very famous, why it is very famous in these years and this generation. This side hana. Okay, just few more minutes we'll discuss on hana. So now we'll discuss what is hana. Hana is nothing but high performance analytical appliance. So why they have designed hana? So I will say SAP has established in 90s 80s performance analytical appliance. Okay, hana is nothing but high performance analytical appliance. High A is nothing but AN is nothing but analytical, A is nothing but appliance. Okay, H is nothing but high performance, AN is nothing but analytical, A is nothing but appliance. Okay, SAP has been established in 1980s only. Okay, in 1980s, but they don't have their own database. They won't have their own database, but at that time they used to use only two databases, either MS SQL or Oracle. In 2012 they have invented this is hana. This hana. So what made this hana is different from other database. The other database are another traditional database are not MS SQL or Oracle. These are so first the engineers of SAP got a brilliant idea. When there is no hana, they got a brilliant idea, why don't we have our own database? So they have designed hana. So what is general property of database is general property of what is the general property of database in from earlier days. When the database has established in 1930s only, the database comes into the picture. What is the general database scenario is to save the data, isn't it? Anywhere in your laptop, what is the scenario of your hard disk? It is used to just save the data, isn't it? Save data. So first SAP employees, SAP engineers thought to design a database and we will name it as a hana, and the property it should have to be save data. Then after some days some of the employees, some of the engineers of this hana, they want to know why do we simply use hana as to just to save the data, why don't we use modeling in this. Modeling in this I explained earlier. What is modeling? Among the entire data you should have to pick only some data according to the customer requirement. Then this employee that god, why we just use this hana as a simple for save data, why don't we use this modeling? So these engineers worked a lot and they embedded and they inbuilt, they made modeling modeling embedded in this save data. But this modeling you never see any other traditional database like MS SQL, Oracle, DBMS, IDBMS. There are just traditional database, they are used only to save the data. In those database you cannot do the modeling. You know the term modeling is nothing but modeling the entire data into a small piece of data which is used by the client. Okay, this is a one of the wonderful feature which we have in HANA, which you won't find in other databases. So this made HANA as a new generation database. Okay, so when someone asks why HANA is very famous, you can simply say them as our HANA database. It not only acts as a database to save the data, it can also act as to do the modeling. Modeling is nothing but OLAP system. It can act as a OLAP system also, where with this which you cannot find in other traditional databases such as MS SQL, Oracle, SQL, RDBMS, DBMS, DB2 or lots other databases. This made HANA as a new generation database. Okay. Then after, what future made this HANA as a so advanced one? So let me take two simple example like traditional databases, traditional database, traditional database and HANA database. Okay, traditional database and HANA database. In traditional database, the data will be stored row based. Okay, in HANA, the data will be stored in column based. What is mean by this row based and column based? Let's take a simple example like through application through application you entered some data. Okay, through application you entered some data. The data is in application you have wrote your name. There in application there will be a name field na. In name you have entered name Devender. You are the age, you have entered your age, and in the application you find uh, your salary, and you have entered your salary. Okay, in the same way in this application application can be used by so many people all over the world, isn't it? So then after I used the same application, I have given in that application I have given in the name field I have given my name Ramana, age I have given my age, and salary I have given my salary. Okay, now so when you have entered the data in application, obviously it should have to store in where it should have to store in database, isn't it? Obviously must have to be stored in database. And what is the database here? We have discussed about two database, isn't it? Row based and column based. Let's take an example of row based. How it will be saved in this traditional database? Traditional database is SQL and MSQL, any other database. Huh? How it will be stored? Because all these databases are row based. How it will store is first what you have entered your name na. For every record there will be a unique ID, isn't it? What is the serial number you have entered first now? Then you will get you have entered first serial number 01, and then you have entered Devender, age, because it is a row based, it is storing in row based, isn't it? Devender and your salary. After I entered my one row based, I have entered second 02 Ramana 25 my salary. Okay, this is the how in traditional database the data will be stored. When you are enter, it will show 01 Devendra 25. In the same way, when I discuss how the data entered in HANA, as what I said, how the data will be saved in HANA, it will be saved in the base of columnar based, isn't it? Let's see how the data will be entered in columnar based. Okay, columnar based. It will enter 0, 01, 02. Devender, Devender, Ramana. 25, 25. And 25,000, 70,000. So see how the data is here, it has stored 01, 02 like this, isn't it? Although this line is comes like this, don't think here it had don't have space now. I write it as a down. Okay. Actually, it stores like this. Entire line will be, it will be stored. Okay. For I won't have space, I would written as down. It will store like this. Here how it will store 01 Devendra 25 25,000 02 Ramana 25 70,000. But how here it was storing 01 02 column based, isn't it? It is a column one, na? Devendra Ramana 25 25 27 70, isn't it? It has been stored in columnar base. So now you will come and doubt is what is the difference between when I store like this and when I store like this. Just I will say a simple example. Now just now you have asked us something like I want seventh data, seventh date data, isn't it? In the same way, what the client he want to say is he want to get the data, the person who get highest salary name. He want highest salary person name. What is the question is, this is a salary one, na? Highest salary name. So how this generation database will read is, I'm asking the question. So you should have to check the all the data na, inside the database. So it will check like this. First it will check 01 Devendra age 25 25,000. Then after it will read 02 Ramana 25 70,000. 70,000 is the highest salary and Ramana is the result. So what is the client asked? He asked the result highest salary person name. Salary is 70,000. Person name is Ramana. This is the client requirement. He want to see only this. Okay. If the same question, if I asked in the HANA database, see here unnecessarily it is reading 01, but I didn't ask it about the 01. I don't want 01, isn't it? But traditional database reading the 01 because it is a row based. It is reading 01, it is reading Devendra. Okay, I want this. It is reading 25 also. I didn't ask 25 because I want only the two fields, that is highest salary and his name. But even though I didn't ask about these two fields, but it is reading. When it is reading these two fields also, it will take some time, isn't it? So it is reading 01, Devender 25, and it is reading this. What are the two fields extra it is reading? It is reading ID and it is reading age. But I don't want those two columns. What is the result I want? I want the result Ramana and highest salary name. Is getting the result. Result will be get right only. But what is the defect here is it is the wasting of the time in reading the columns which are not required by the client, isn't it? If the same question, if I asked for the HANA database, what will it do? I asked what I asked, highest salary and the name. So it will ignore these two columns. It will never read these two columns. What are the columns it will never read? It will won't read it won't read age and id. It will read name and the salary. It will directly come and search for the salary. In the salary, what is there? 25,000 and 70,000 is the highest one. And for this 70,000, who is the person name? Then we'll take Ramana. Okay. So the time taken here is very huge when compared to the time taken is here. So here I have taken a simple example, something like two records, but in real time, the business is all over the world. How many records you will see? Crores of records, isn't it? In crores of records, you are asking only two fields, but it is reading all these means. I will take a simple example. Generally, for 10 lakh records, if your database have 10 lakh records, 10 lakhs, the time it will take is if you question two fields, this one. To ask two fields, the time it will be take is 5 minutes. Okay, if the same question, if the same data 10 lakhs, if the 10 lakhs records in HANA, you have asked the name and it is, and it will take in 0, 0.5 milliseconds, not seconds, milliseconds. See how much difference it is. The millionth of the greater than the performance of the traditional database. Obviously, what make this HANA database, now you got the point. For 10 lakh records, to analyze these two fields, it take 5 minutes in in traditional database. But when to come to HANA, for 10 lakh records, it has taken only 0.5 milliseconds. It's not a seconds, it has taken milliseconds. How much fast it has been retrieved, because you have ignored other columns which is not required by the client. The client what is required, it will read only those columns, but here what the client required, it will not read the only those columns. It will read other columns also. So this made HANA as a new generation database and stands in the first modeling. Okay, Devendra, got the point. Yeah, we can show anything. Anything will be possible. Once we get into the practical, how we will read, you will get into the doubts, how it will be read. That is the practical session. These are just knowledge perspective. Just think of that. But how it will pick, we will see in the practical. Now you don't think about how we will take it that one, but you think how the futures are there. What are the futures available with traditional and what is the futures available in HANA? Okay. So here it is taking 5 minutes. So obviously when you're doing a modeling, no want to see now the data here you asked is something, question is asked by the client. To fetch the data for 10 lakh records, it is taking 5 minutes. Obviously on your screen what you will see, loading option, isn't it? So client will be irritated because he had paid such huge amount, because the license will be very high, nearly 1 crore to 2 crores. He has invested that much money. Now he has taken this much of loading time. He will definitely get an irritating, isn't it? So but when he, if you go for HANA, you will never see such type of buffering or loading issue, because for 10 lakh records it will take 0.5 milliseconds, isn't it? That's why HANA stands as first in the database. And now you nowhere in the world you will see the better database than HANA, because all other database are only used for save data, but HANA here we are using for modeling perspective also. Okay, this is the session for the today, Devender. Do you have any doubts from the today's session? What we have discussed today's session, we have discussed about the OLTP architecture and OLAP architecture and the modeling, and what is the performance of HANA. You people had any doubts on this? It's clear. Okay. If you had any doubts, please mail me or ping me or call me. I will explain on that one. Okay. Today, what you are going to search is Google. It is hana. Why hana is more greater than? Till there are two more options. What made hana is a more than? Among three, I have discussed only one, and there are two other features which made hana. We will discuss tomorrow. Those two features. What are those two features? Is we have other two features. Among these two features, we have discussed only one feature, and we need to discuss is in-memory database and massive parallel processing. So HANA is different from traditional database on three types. One is columnar storage, one is this columnar storage, and another is in-memory database, and another is massive parallel processing. Because of these three features, HANA is became as a new generation database, and it is totally different from traditional database. Okay, in these three we have discussed about columnar based, and tomorrow we are going to discuss about in-memory database and massive parallel processing. After completion of this, we will go into the practical sessions. Okay guys, I'm signing off. It's fine now. Okay buddy.